What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome back to another edition, a Sixers edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And tonight, we have another 76ers matchup. We have a game. The Philadelphia 76ers, your Sixers, will be traveling to Toronto for a road matchup against the Toronto Raptors, and that should be a fun game. The Toronto Raptors are a team that's clearly in the rebuilding stages. They are a team that's not trying to win right now. They are literally trying to develop talent, load up on talent, probably load up on draft picks. Who knows where their future is going? So this should be a game that the Philadelphia 76ers should be able to snag without Joel Embiid and Paul George. But I am getting ahead of myself. You guys know what to do. You know what your job is. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, especially if you're new to the show. You know, we tend to have a lot of people who ghost watch or who are ghost viewers, right? They don't hit the like button. They don't subscribe. They just hang out in the background. They don't even comment in the live chat. They just sit in the background. Not trying to make no noise, trying to be real inconspicuous. But guess what? I see you. I see all of y'all who watch the show, who don't subscribe or hit the like button. Doesn't matter, though. I appreciate you guys nonetheless for contributing. Just make sure you know you have a home here. Stick around for a while. You feel what I'm saying? Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I understand this is a new thing we're doing here at Chalk It Up Sports. I know it's probably going to upset my algorithm. Some of you guys probably could care less, but regardless, we're trying to grow Chalk It Up Sports. We're trying to be more than just an Eagles platform. We're trying to be a Philadelphia sports platform, and we're growing slowly but surely. And basketball and football are near and dear to my heart. So it was only a matter of time before basketball became a part of this platform. So again, I know this may be new to some of you guys. Just know that this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be covering the 76ers. We're going to be covering the Philadelphia Eagles with the same intensity, with the same passion, with the same fervor. Best believe the energy is going to be the same. So if you like basketball, if you're an NBA guy as well, if you like the Sixers, hey, let's lock in. If you don't like the Sixers, and you just want to come in just to talk trash, hey, I'll take that too. It all goes into the same pot of gumbo, if you ask me. You feel me? The love, the hate, I appreciate it. So just make sure you guys continue to support the channel as it's going through its growing stages. I understand it may be a little different for you guys. I understand if change is uncomfortable, but just make sure you guys continue to lock in on the content. The show is available on more than one platform. If you're watching me live, you can watch me on YouTube. You can watch me on Twitch. You can also watch me on Facebook live, right? Now, if you can't catch me live, if you only can watch the live streams or the shows after the fact, maybe you're busy. Maybe you got a day job. Maybe you're working with the kids, whatever it may be. You can't catch the content when you want to. That's all right. You can always double back on YouTube. The content is here. And also, if you guys didn't know, the show is available on Spotify. It's also available on Apple Podcasts. We always upload the shows within the hour after the live stream ends. So I appreciate you guys for locking in the way you have. Just know you have options. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I'm trying to cover all bases, and you guys know how we do it here. All right, let's get into the content. Like I said, the Philadelphia 76ers have a matchup tonight with the Toronto Raptors, a team that's currently in rebuild mode. The Toronto Raptors were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, let alone one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. The Toronto Raptors finished last season 25-57, one of the worst records in the NBA. And they're also coming off of a crushing loss, a 30-point loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Granted, the Philadelphia 76ers aren't really coming off of a great loss themselves, right? They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks by 15 points, but they are shorthanded. Both teams are actually shorthanded, if we're being completely honest and unbiased about it. The Raptors, likely tonight, they'll be without 4 key contributors. That's Kelly Olynyk, RJ Barrett, Jacoby Walter, and Bruce Brown. And likely they'll be without Emmanuel Quickley. All of those guys are dealing with various injuries. Kelly Olynyk, I believe RJ Barrett and Jacoby Walter, they're dealing with AC joint injuries. I believe Emmanuel Quickley is dealing with some sort of hip injury. So likely the Toronto Raptors are going to be down 5 key contributors, and the Sixers are going to be down their 2 stars in Paul George and Joel Embiid. That's no mystery. So this should be a game that Tyrese Maxey and the crew should be able to get right in. Both teams are 0-1. Somebody's walking out with their first win of the season. And I see no reason why it should not be the Philadelphia 76ers again. This Toronto Raptors team, they're not better than you without Joel Embiid and Paul George. It's as simple as that, right? Isn't in no shit, way, or form should they be able to run with you when you have Tyrese Maxey, Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond. You feel what I'm saying? Yabusele. When you got guys like that, and then you look at their team, I mean, I'm sure the Raptors play hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they play hard, but I'm sorry. I feel like this is a game that the Philadelphia 76ers should win. And they should win by at least 10 points, 10 to 15 points. I really believe that. So, just sticking with the injury side of things, the Joel Embiid situation is starting to heat up a little bit more. And people are growing frustrated as if they weren't already. But the frustration is starting to boil over to the point where the NBA is launching their form of an investigation. I don't know if it's an official investigation yet, but the NBA, there's rumblings that the NBA is looking into whatever the Philadelphia 76ers are doing or not doing when it comes to Joel Embiid's availability. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Joel Embiid, the reality is all these teams, all these players have an obligation to play, especially when you're healthy, and especially when it's a nationally televised game or in-season tournament game. You see, the league, they approved a guideline prior to last season, and that guideline states that healthy players, healthy superstars to be specific, healthy superstars must be made available to play in all nationally televised and in-season tournament games if they are deemed healthy. I'll say that again. If your superstar is healthy, if your superstar has no limitations and he's not on the injury report, he needs to be active in that nationally televised or in-season tournament game. The league is trying to crack down on this load management stuff. And it also doesn't help that Joel Embiid came out prior to the season saying that we likely may not see him ever again in the back-to-back. That was a smoking gun for the league. You can't do that. You can't just, and I understand we want honesty from our players, but there's a fine line between honesty and just talking too damn much. And that's one of those situations where a player gets caught talking too damn much. There was no reason to put that into the air, to put that into the zeitgeist. So now the league is looking at you with a microscope. You're under the microscope of the league now. Hold on, wait. Joel Embiid's not playing any back-to-backs anymore. Who said that? Who approved that? Oh, by the way, he's not available for the opener. Hold on. That was a nationally televised game. Who approved that? What's going on? We didn't see him get hurt. He was just in the Olympics. He didn't re-injure himself, according to Nick Nurse. So what's going on with the player? Why wasn't he active in game 1 of the NBA season? TNT, nationally televised. Milwaukee Bucks, that's a big marquee matchup. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Maxey. We know why Paul George ain't here. We saw him get hurt. But Joel Embiid, we didn't see him get hurt. And in fact, we saw him win a gold medal in Paris, celebrating. So you can understand why there's a disconnect between what the league understands versus what's actually happening. Now, granted, I am on the side of things where I believe that the Sixers should take every precaution to make sure Joel Embiid is healthy. That is the side of the fence I am on. I want Joel Embiid healthy when it matters most, because I've seen this brother go down when it mattered most. I've seen this brother not be available when it matters most. So, and I've also seen this brother not at full strength when it matters most. Every time when the playoffs get around, when it's time to really win some real basketball games, Joel Embiid is either hurt or limited or something in between. I don't know. So, as a Sixers supporter, I see why they're trying to tread lightly with this brother. I get it. Because you've invested so much money into him. You've invested so much money into this roster as it's currently built. You need to make it mean something. You need to make sure it's worth something in the end. And I'm sorry. I understand if people get upset when I say this. This may be selfish of me. And I want to see Joel Embiid play as much as everybody else. But if I'm the NBA, I'm taking every fine the league throws my way. I'm going to make sure Joel Embiid is healthy. You're not going to strong arm me. You're not going to muscle me. I don't care what fine I got to pay Adam Silver. Joel Embiid is going to be healthy for the playoffs. He's going to be healthy for the playoffs. Fine me, suspend me, do whatever you got to do. This brother's going to be healthy for the playoffs, come hell or high water. So the NBA, go on. Launch an investigation. You may find something, you may not. You may find something, you may not. But I want to make sure Joel Embiid is healthy, first and foremost. Secondly, I want to make sure the chemistry between Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George exists. Now, even though I am on the side of being careful with Joel Embiid, I'm not on the side of sacrificing quality time on the floor. On the floor with Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. You want to make sure these guys can play together. And it goes far beyond just those three guys. Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, Yabusele, Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, Andre Drummond. All these guys are going to be a part of this rotation here, especially once you get to the playoffs. So you want to make sure all these guys know their roles, they're living in their roles, and they appreciate their roles. So that's my opinion on the Joel Embiid thing. I'll say again, whatever it takes, Philadelphia, get that man to the playoffs healthy, in tip-top shape, whatever it takes. But also, don't sacrifice quality time on the floor as well. You got to get those guys on the floor. Now, it's early in the season. You face the Raptors tonight. This is a game that you should be able to get through relatively unscathed. I don't see why Tyrese Maxey can't go in this game and win it with his guys, knowing what we know from that first game, right? It seemed like the moment that game ended, him and Nick Nurse knew exactly where they went wrong. They spoke about it in their press conference, right? Both of those guys agreed that Tyrese Maxey was sort of playing downhill a little too much. He was a little bit too aggressive. He was a little too overzealous, right? Maxey said, and I quote, "I got to slow down. I shot the ball horribly. I played a little bit too fast. I'll definitely be better." He spoke on missed opportunities, being too aggressive. He knows that it's going to be so important for this team to establish an identity and establish some level of respect without Joel Embiid and Paul George. He shot that down right away in the press conference. He made it very clear that, listen, yeah, Embiid not here, but we got to prove that we can win games and be a good team without Joel Embiid. So, yeah, we're not going to start that. It's one game. It's one game. But there's some truth to it, though. You got to prove that you can win and stay above water while Joel Embiid. Obviously, Joel Embiid takes you over the top. Obviously, Joel Embiid takes your offense, your defense, just takes your overall team to another level. Add Paul George into that mix, and you're going to the promised land. You got a chance, right? We know he makes you better, but you also want to prove that, hey, he's hurt. We can still hold this thing down. We can still get through the regular season and win tough games because we're a tough basketball team. So I understand the premise on both sides. But Joel Embiid definitely makes you better. You're definitely not the same team without Joel Embiid and Paul George. You want to make sure they're back healthy and ready to go. Another thing Maxey spoke on is, and this release spoke volumes to me about the level of self-awareness. He spoke on how he was essentially using too much energy to get what he wanted. He was using too much energy to not get enough out of it. He was spending too much energy trying to score. He didn't do a good enough job really assessing the situation and really trying to get to his spots and really trying to conserve energy and play that and that balancing act, right? When you're the lone guy out there, you got to balance offense, scoring, facilitating with your defense, right? You got to balance that. He spoke on how he didn't really do a good job really pacing his energy throughout the game. He left a lot of money on the table. He left a lot of food on his plate. Nick Nurse spoke on how the team just kept running into a wall, just kept banging their head against the same wall. They should have never continued to try to challenge Brook Lopez once he established himself as a rim protector in that game. Once it was established that Brook Lopez is not letting anything happen down there, they should have did a better job taking advantage of the in-between game. The floaters, the mid-range, right? The baseline. They didn't do a good enough job taking advantage of the in-between game. And they left a lot of food on the table. So Nick Nurse, Tyrese Maxey, they're fully aware why that game went the way it went. And Maxey and the guys didn't adjust well enough and quick enough to get back into that game. But I think because Maxey has improved at such an alarming rate the way he has, I mean, he's the reigning most improved player of the year, right? Because he has a standing track record, a legitimate track record of improving his game upon criticism, and just he has a propensity, has it on the resume that he's able to take his game to another level, game after game, week after week, month after month, year after year. I trust Tyrese Maxey's preparation. I trust Tyrese Maxey's diligence to get the job done. I trust that he's going to make all the necessary adjustments to make sure he puts his teammates along with himself in the best possible position to win basketball games efficiently and effectively. You see, that game against the Bucks wasn't efficient. Therefore, they weren't effective. But tonight, when you have the Toronto Raptors, you have an opportunity to get right against a lesser opponent, get efficient, continue to carve out roles for other players like Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin. I'm really curious to see what the starting lineup is going to be tonight. Because the other night against the Bucks, I believe the starting lineup, the opening lineup was Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Eric Gordon, KJ Martin, Andre Drummond. I'm not sure how I feel about that starting lineup. I wouldn't be opposed to, and look, I understand you don't want Kyle Lowry out there for extended minutes. He's like 38 years old, 37 years old. You don't want him out there for extended minutes. I totally understand that. But at least for right now, until Embiid and Paul George come back, I want to see how Kyle Lowry looks in the starting lineup next to Tyrese Maxey. I want to see that because my favorite rotation, my favorite lineup from that Bucks game was the Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, Yabusele lineup. That was my favorite lineup from the other night. I felt like they were able to play fast. They were able to get out in transition. Maxey was able to play off the ball, which gave him more scoring opportunities. You saw how efficient and effective Kyle Lowry was, how efficient he was from three, how efficient and effective he was as a passer. He had 6 assists in like 20, 25 minutes played. I mean, you got to utilize that. You want to start games off a little bit better than what you did before. I think you do that. I think in order to do that, you start Kyle Lowry next to Tyrese Maxey. You have Kelly Oubre or Caleb Martin at the 3. Probably you start Kelly Oubre at the 3. At the 4, this is where things get a little interesting because you want to start the game with Andre Drummond. You want to do that. You want Yabusele as a reserve. You don't want to overreact. Maybe the lineup should be Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond. That could be a lineup that I'll be interested in seeing. But I believe that in order to get the best out of Tyrese Maxey for right now, the best out of this offense right now, I want to see Tyrese Maxey and Kyle Lowry at the 1 and the 2. That's what I want to see. That's what I need to see. But yeah, you guys, like I told you guys, these Sixer shows, they're not going to be that long. We're not going to draw it out. We're not going to overcook this thing. You feel what I'm saying? There are 82 games in the season. We're going to be talking damn near every day, every other day about your 76ers. So there's always going to be something to talk about. There's always going to be a game for us to break down. We're not going to overcook this thing. The Philadelphia 76ers have the Toronto Raptors tonight. Some players to watch, in my opinion, for the Raptors. You got to keep an eye on Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes is a good player. I did think Scottie Barnes would be a little bit further in his development up to this point, but Scottie Barnes is still a solid player that you want to keep an eye out for. He's a great two-way player, plays good offense, great defense. You want to keep an eye out for Grady Dick, that guard they drafted last season. He can shoot, and you also want to keep an eye out for Chris Boucher, their power forward. He's all right as well. Again, this is a very young Toronto Raptors team, a team that's rebuilding. So they don't have any stars, really. The closest thing they have to a star is Scottie Barnes. And I don't know if I would call Scottie Barnes a star. I don't know if I would call him that just yet. Maybe you guys may feel differently. Maybe he's the star for the Raptors. They've already moved on from Pascal Siakam. They no longer have Fred VanVleet. This is Scottie Barnes' team. So maybe he's their star, but I don't think I would consider Scottie Barnes a star yet. I don't think Scottie Barnes has even made an all-star team. I could be wrong. Make sure I got it right. Okay, he is a one-time all-star. He's a one-time all-star. He was the 2021 Rookie of the Year. He also made the 2021-2022 All-Rookie team. So Scottie Barnes does have an all-star nod under his belt. And for his career, he's averaging 16.6 points per game. His best season was in 2023, last season, where he averaged 19.9 points per game. That was his all-star season. I will say Barnes is efficient for the most part. Last season, shot 47% from the field, 34% from three. So Scotty's a good player. Scotty's a good player. He's a star for the Raptors. But regardless, though, you got to watch out for Scotty Barnes. That's the bottom line. And then for the Sixers tonight, I'm looking to see Tyrese Maxey bounce back. I'm looking to see a much more efficient game for him. I'm looking to see him take advantage of that in-between game a little bit more. I'm looking to see Kelly Oubre be a bit more efficient. I'm looking to see Caleb Martin take more shots from deep. I need to see Caleb Martin really getting up at least 4 to 5 threes a game. Kyle Lowry, I want to see him run point more often. I want to see a more aggressive Andre Drummond as you get deeper into the game. I feel like he started off strong on the boards, then he kind of tapered off towards the back end. But regardless, though, this is a game that the Philadelphia 76ers should be able to win. This is a good bounce back game. This is a good game for you to iron out some of the details of your rotations, some of the details as far as how you want to play, how you want to win until Joel Embiid and Paul George comes back. But that's pretty much today's show when it comes to your Philadelphia 76ers. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I really do appreciate the love. I really do appreciate the support you guys have been giving me thus far as I grow this channel. We're not only covering your Philadelphia Eagles, we're also covering your Philadelphia 76ers. So make sure you guys are on the right side of history. Make sure you guys lock in with your boy. The vibes are only going to get better. The show is only going to get better. The content is only going to get better. I'm the guest, the energy, everything about this platform. It's a product of the support and the love you guys have poured into it. And I really do appreciate the love. I appreciate the hate. I appreciate everything in between, you guys. Make sure you continue to lock in on this Sixers content that we're going to be giving you guys daily throughout the NBA season and the NBA playoffs. I can't wait until Paul George and Embiid comes back so we can see the Philadelphia 76ers at full strength. It's going to be an exciting season. I'm still expecting Philadelphia 76ers to get out of the second round this year. And again, we're only 2 games deep. The second game is tonight. No reason to overreact, no reason to panic. But we do have to keep our eye on that Joel Embiid situation. The Paul George injury is more clear-cut. The Joel Embiid situation is a little bit more murky. And the league is honing in on what the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to do here. Joel Embiid with the limited back-to-back play. Joel Embiid not playing in the season opener when no injury has clearly been stated. The league is getting close to whatever the Sixers are trying to do here. So I think it's about time the Sixers stop pussyfooting, stop playing around, get Joel Embiid out there, get him ready so we can focus on basketball and not focus on whatever's going on off the court. And it's straight like that. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys have been tuned into a Sixers edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.